Okay, remember it's tailspring.com, www.tailspring.com. This application or software or website was designed for people to be able to write stories and publish them through iTunes. And so, but they found out along the line that it made perfect software for video scrapbooking. And so, the first thing you'll need to do is register and then sign in. When you sign in, the first thing that you should see is your dashboard, and that'll tell you a little bit about your subscription. Remember, there's a free subscription for the first certain amount of memory. Then beyond that, you can purchase subscriptions. And it will also list the books that you've created and whether or not you're sharing them. And so if you don't have any, you'll just see the button that says start a new book. So let's start a new book. The first thing that it has some information is about the book profile, and that information will be important in the if you want to share it in an iTunes store, how that information would be there. You'll notice it says here it's not required now, but it will be before publishing. So that I can keep track, I like to give the book a title. Then when I'm working on them, they show up with their title. But I ignore everything else except I always change the selling price to free. But this page we can bring up later before we publish as well. Okay, this is the Tailspring interface. What we have over here, we have the information about our book, and we have the ways that we can add things. Okay, the first thing that we are going to do is add our background graphic. Now you'll notice that it says background over here. You're able to change the background just to solid colors, but I would just ignore that background for now. We want to add a graphic. We need to choose a file, and we want this country background. It may, depending on your internet speed and the size of your file, it may take it a few minutes to upload. Okay, here it is, country background, and I need this. I have one that's an error here, so I want the one that is the newest. Now you can grab a hold of it and slide it over here to where you want it and try and get it in exactly the right place. But we know that we set it up to be the exact size of the Tailspring background, so we can go ahead and just use the position section over here, change the left to 0, change the top to 0, and it will line it up exactly where we want. Okay, so that's the first thing. We've got our background in place. The next thing we want to do is add the title. So let's add a graphic. Choose the file. We want our country title. Make sure that that's a ping. And again, depending on your internet speed and the size of the file, depends on how long it takes to upload it. Okay, country title. You'll see that saving things with the same name will help you find them when you're trying to upload them later. So here's our country title. Okay, this one, it does not go up in the corner, and so I'm just going to kind of drag it into where I had it when I was scrapbooking. Okay, now that's in the right place. That's the one that I want to add the sound file to. So under animate over here, it's what's called a hotspot, meaning something is going to happen with this. So I click on hotspot, and then over here in my animation timeline, when you click on that, it'll open it up. Now, what I want to happen, I don't want it to happen when the page loads. I want people to be able to click on it. You can add a delay start after they click on it. I don't know that that would be necessary, and I want to add sound to it. And so I'm going to choose. Again, I need to upload a sound. Now remember, the sounds can only be MP3 format, and the sound that I have is my country story MP3. Again, depending on your internet speed and the size of the file will depend on how long it takes to upload. Okay, click on Country Story to say that that's the sound I want it to add, and it'll place it over here in the animation. If you want to check it as you go, there's a button right up here called Preview Page. It'll tell you press Escape to exit, don't forget that. It'll bring up your page, and when you click on Country, you can check and make sure that it's going to do your sound. Okay, and the last step is to add our video. The reason I add that last is it's going to automatically move it to the top. It doesn't matter where you add it, it is going to automatically move it to the top. So let's add a video. I want to make sure I have the right video. I've played around with it, but I'm going to add this to make sure. Once your video has finished uploading, it'll appear here in your My Video collections. You just click on it and it'll add it to the screen. I'm not sure why it always adds it over here, but let's drag it over to where we want it. And remember, you can resize videos. It should fit really nicely on that little mat that we made for it. Remember, there's not a nudge function, but you can accomplish the same thing by just changing the numbers here a couple of pixels. I'm going to go down to 24 and see. Hit tab so it centers it if that's about where I want it. I think I might want it at 525. It needs to go a little bit down, so I'm going to change that to 555 and hit tab. Whoa, too far. About 554. Yeah, that's where I want it. You have the option of showing video controls or not showing video controls. If you leave it at the default setting of show video controls, then there will be a little black arrow right here on your video. I'm going to leave the show video controls on because I don't think that people are accustomed to knowing that there's certain places where they can click and it'll make things happen. Perhaps over the next year or two, as video scrapbooking becomes more popular, people will know to click here and there and see what they can make happen. But I'm going to leave it on mine for now. Now, if you want to preview the page, remember you can click on Preview Page. It'll tell you Escape to Exit. And these are the video controls that I was showing you. And you can see the reason that I include those is because I'm not sure people know right away that that's something that they can click on for the video. But you'll be able to preview your page and see how it works. Now, if you wanted to put this into an entire scrapbook all together in the same thing, you could add another page. And keep going. I'm going to scrapbook my pages independently, so I'm going to save this as a book by itself. The place to add more pages is right down here in this window so that you can continue to do more of them. But I'm just going to save this as an individual page. So I want to go back to book because I need to make some of those changes. And remember, this was the page I told you in the beginning you would have a chance to come back and edit later. My short name is going to be it's going to be country. The author is Shell, the illustrator. Again, I'm going to put Shell. A description, our family float for July 24th. We're a little confused about what year it is. We think it might be 2004. But again, I could go back in and edit that. Okay, these down here, the 77 by 72, 512 by 512, 57, and 114, I believe those are icons so that when your app, if you were to save it as an app and try and sell it in the App Store, that's the icons that you would need for that. When you go ahead to publish your book, it does require the 72 by 72, and that's so that you can share it online. And so I went ahead and saved mine. Okay, 57 pixels by 57 pixels is the size for the icon. That's square and our book is rectangular, so you just kind of have to pick a spot that best represents it, I guess, and crop it down to the 57 by 57. And then because that's used in internet applications, it needs to be saved as a ping. So you want country icon .ping. I saved mine with the title icon so that I'll know that that's what it is. Okay, now we're ready to publish. Not interested in publishing as an app. I'm not interested in the $150 charge. I just want to download. I want it to be downloadable. I want people to be able to, I want to share it on Facebook. I want to share it in email. I want to post it on my blog. So that's the one I want. I just click continue. This is this place where you enter that icon for an iPad or iPhone reader. So that will be the icon that shows up. And then I click on submit order. And the next screen that comes up is an optional place for you to be able to download your copy of that. What you are downloading is a Tailspring file, and it requires Tailspring readers to be able to read that file. Right now, the Tailspring readers are available for the Mac, the iPad, and iPhone, and Windows is coming soon, as you can see here. I expect that to be out in the next few months. In the meantime, people can view it online regularly, and so I would download a copy of it so that you have the copy of it, so that once they have the readers ready, you'll be able to do that. But then we want to go back to our dashboard. Um, there's not an easy link to get back to the dashboard. So we're going to go back to tailspring.com. I'm going to take off the versions and receipt off the back of that, and I believe that brings up my dashboard. Okay, you can see right here the books that I have and what I'm doing with them. Sharing means that they are already available for people to load that way. Share means I'm ready to do that. Now, once you've shared it, if you find an error in it and you want to go back and save it, there will be a little icon here. I think it's a red exclamation point that tells you you've made changes that you haven't shared. And so I do want to be able to share this. I want to turn on sharing, and it will build the shared book. So it'll give me the link that I need to connect people so that people can see my layout. And there you go. There's your link, and you can copy that link. And right down here, if you choose share, it'll give you the option of posting this in other places so that you can share it that way, or you can just go ahead and do your own posting with your own social media options that way by just copying the link. And for one thing, you can come back in here and find this link, but I save that link in a place where I'm saving all of my references to all of my books and where they are. And that's everything that you need to be able to digital scrapbook and share your digital scrapbook videos online.